Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I did take the loss on Ilus here. I decided, you know what, I just looked through the 10Q, which, by the way, the 10Q is not, it's, ooh, I don't even know where to begin with this 10Q. This is going to be a long one, guys. You better sit down and grab some popcorn, because I'm going to show you why I took the loss. And I'm done with Ilus. That's it. I figured at some point, we would take a loss and move on. So I sold it off. And as you can see here, let me see if I can pull it up in the Discord trades tracker. Yeah, you can see QIND. I took a loss on QIND. There's the Ilus loss, Ilus loss, Ilus loss. So you'll notice all of my losses have been not QIND. All of my losses have been penny stocks. So that's why I've been saying, I'm done. I'm done with penny stocks. AITX now is the last one that I'm going to trade, and that's it. Because if you guys have been watching my videos, I talked about that one guy who he keeps trying to trade penny stocks and flip them for 1,000, 10,000%. He's hoping it goes to the moon so that he gets his money back that he lost, so that he can make back the money that he borrowed from his parents. And there's a whole story that I made a whole story on that guy. If I decide, you know what, I'm gonna average down on Ilus because I want to make my money back and not take the loss, then I would be falling into the same trap that guy did, and that many people fell into way back when this thing ran to 50 cents or AITX ran to 25, etc., etc. So this is like a critical point where I went, I'm just gonna take the loss and move on. The other mentality leads you to holding a bag. It leads you to adding more as it goes down. Leads you to thinking, oh, one day it's gonna go up, and you just keep digging a deeper hole. So I think this is like a perfect example of how, all it takes is that one decision. If I had decided today not to take the loss and hold it, I probably would have taken a bigger loss. I might have just averaged down. The chart doesn't exactly look good since that huge run to 50 cents. It just continues to go down. And now let's touch on the the Ilus 10Q, and I'm going to show you exactly why I took the loss. Sometimes you're going to take your lumps, guys. I'm very transparent. I'm not going to pretend like, oh, I only ever make money. If anyone ever tells you that or pretends like they only ever win, they're an absolute scammer. That's what that means. By the way, let me just... Okay, so their badge, their transparency badge, still gone. There's still pink limited information. And the reason this is, companies have limited disclosure or financial information publicly available. That has not gotten removed despite them releasing the 10Q. And let's go through it bit by bit. Like I said, grab your popcorn, guys, because I looked through this and I was like, oh boy, time to take the loss, because things just got worse. I feel sorry for the people that average down from 50, 30, 20, 10, 6, etc. Like that. You gotta take the loss if you can and not overexpose yourself. I didn't go in with 6 figures or 5 figures. If you go in with that much, I could see the pull being very strong in terms of, I don't want to sell because I don't want to take this huge loss on this much money. So I can see that, but that's why I didn't go in big. That's just insanity. That's why I have a 10K rule maximum for penny stocks. But I'm just done with penny stocks anyways. Not reviewed, by the way. Unaudited and not reviewed, which is the first for Ilus. I don't know what to make of that. It's not reviewed, so can we even trust this? That's probably the first question. Anyways, current assets increased. Total assets. Okay, wait. Where's accounts receivable? Is the one I want to look at. Cash increased. Accounts receivable decreased, by the way. Accounts receivable dropped from 22 to 7 million. Long term, goodwill. I don't care about none of that. What's the total assets? Total assets, it only increased, by the way, by about 3 million, which is a first, because their assets were increasing a lot more than this, quarter over quarter and year over year. So they started to slow down, is what I'm trying to point out. Accounts payable decreased, which makes sense, because they're just not selling as much, which means their revenues probably aren't that great this quarter, is what I'm thinking based on just the accounts payable here, based on that decrease. Total current liabilities, the total current liabilities stayed the same. Current, by the way. We're not talking about long term. Long term increased by 3 million, and the total long term liabilities, yeah, about 3 million. So the total liabilities, yeah. So it's fine. We're still good on in terms of assets to liabilities, but I'm pretty sure. What's the retained earnings? Negative? It's got to be in the negative. There's no way it was. Yeah, it's in the negative. The retained earnings actually went from negative 100,000 to negative 5.7 million. That's a huge deficit. What's next? There we go. The revenue. That's what I wanted to look at. I imagine the revenue actually did increase by 2x. Again, it's not reviewed, so who knows, right? Who knows if we can trust this? Their cost of revenues actually took a massive drop from 1.3 million to 2.6 million, which is nice. You know, it's always good to see the cost of goods sold go down. The cheaper it is to build the product and sell it, the better. More money in your pocket. So, but the gross profit was 1.5 million relative to the 500,000 from last year? Yeah, last year. Operating expenses, for some reason they didn't, what? Is it just, am I insane here? Total operating expenses decreased, which makes sense. Yeah, they decreased their general and administrative. So they did some cleanup here in general and administrative. That's what led to the decrease. They decreased it by 1 million, by the way. They decreased the total operating expenses by 1 million. Where's the net income? The net income is still negative, but we're well on their way to being profitable. Okay, let's continue down here. There is something I wanted to point out. Again, because the financials are unaudited and unreviewed, and because they don't have the transparency badge, and because they're pink limited, it's just better to play it safe than sorry. Definitely do not average down. June 30. So the emergency response division, their revenue decreased for their emergency and response division. It went down from 3.5 to 2 million. Their gross profit was less, of course, as expected, from 1 million to 629,000. So their gross profit dropped. And let's see, their net loss. Yeah, let's see, our revenue decreased. Yep. So their revenue decreased by 44% year to date, as they say right here. QIND, the revenue increased from 0 to 3 million. Again, because this is unaudited, who knows? But what was their net profit loss? They're profitable with the QIND division. I saw something here that might have been interesting. Where is it? Accounts receivable. I don't care about goodwill. Where's the thing that made me go, okay, here it is. Here it is. I just missed it. Where's the planned developments? There it is. Planned developments. Planned developments. Okay, so the reason I'm showing you planned developments is because if we go back to the other 10Q, this is the old 10Q, by the way, that I'm showing you, and we scroll down to that same section, there it is, planned developments. So this is the old 10Q, this is the new 10Q. Let me separate these two just so no one's confused. So on the right hand side is the old 10Q, on the left hand side is the new 10Q. Okay? Planned developments for the new 10Q that came out. Ilus continues to streamline its operations and align its core competencies with the evolving market demands. The company is taking strategic steps to expand its portfolio of operating companies and therefore plans to acquire additional ER and industrial companies. Support this expansion The company plans to hire additional personnel in finance and legal. Our top priorities include supporting the expansion of ERT and industrial subsidiaries. We intend to complete the reverse mergers of SAMO and QND, our two subsidiaries, with national exchange listed companies in the second half of 2024, and a dividend for Ilus shareholders following their sale of ERT assets to SAMO. So they've pushed back the uplist of QIND and SAMO because now it's going to happen in the second half. You look at the old 10Q, the other one, by mid-2024, the company plans to acquire additional ER and industrial companies. To support its expansion, they plan on blah, 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 blah. This is rinse and repeat right here, by the way. This up here is also rinse and repeat. Our top priorities include consolidating our recent acquisition, increasing production of ER response products in the U.S., and completing the reverse merger of SAMO and QND with national exchange listed companies in the first half of 2024, which, as I just showed you, has been pushed back. Also, a lot of copy and paste. Furthermore, we intend to issue, okay, we already know. They're supposed to issue, okay, guys, and they came out with, didn't they have an interview with Buffalo Fireside Chats, I believe? And they talked about they're going to uplist Ilus this year. But we just saw that they did not follow through on uplisting those two subsidiaries in the first half of 2024. And now they've pushed it to the second half. And they've been doing this for years. We're going to get uplist Ilus. We're going to uplist Ilus. Uplist. It never happens. Now they're pushing back these two subsidiary uplist, which we should assume then that they're going to push back the Ilus uplist. And them doing that interview with Buffalo Fireside Chats was nothing more than fluff, because they really made it sound like, hey guys, we're going to uplist Ilus this year. It's happening this year. Well, they got 4 months, not even 3 months, and I don't know what I'm going to believe, but it seems to me like they have a pattern of not following through. And they can blame it on whatever they want. At the end of the day, they should be the one taking responsibility. They're the ones who said, uplist happening. We're going to complete this uplist in the first half. Okay, now it's in the second half. Okay, now it's the first half of next year. And it's just going to rinse and repeat like that. We've been here already for 3 years. So this is the biggest reason why I took the loss. I'm just done with them. I'm done with penny stocks. AITX is the last penny stock that I'm going to trade because AITX does communicate. It does drop PRs. It's working. It's doing the right things, first of all. Second of all, AITX doesn't lead you on. When they say they're going to do something, they do it, even if it means saying, hey, we're going to dilute your head. And they do dilute quite a bit, like 333 million on average every month. Whereas Ilus, I think, dilutes like 10 million, 20 million a month. It's nothing compared to AITX. But the difference is the communication. That's the big difference. So I'm just done. I'm done with OTC penny stocks that don't communicate. That's my personal rule. And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I just showed you my losses this year have all been from penny stocks. And a lot of people got destroyed by penny stocks. A lot of people made a lot of money with penny stocks back in 2021, but a lot of people also got destroyed. A lot of people holding a big bag right now. A lot of people got absolutely shagged. And I think this is this is the one time where you have to look at yourself and go, I was wrong. I'm going to take the loss and I'm going to move on. And that's what I'm doing. I'm moving on. No more buying penny stocks. AITX is the last trade. Ilus, I just took the loss. I'm okay with it. Again, this is why you don't overexpose yourself and go in with 6 figures or entire net worth like some people did. Again, if you want to check out, there's a Word document in the description below. If you want to check out my thought process in the markets, it's a short little 14-page quote-unquote book, pamphlet, whatever you want to call it. You can probably read it while taking a dump. So if you want to check it out, link in the description below. That's just for you guys. It's free. It just gives you a look into my thought process and how I've grown as a trader from when I first started back in 2020, late 2020, in Moon Markets Discord to now. So if you want to check that out, feel free to do so. That's it for the video. Take your losses, guys. Learn from your mistakes. And, when there's a lot of red flags, you got to pay attention. And you got to make that hard decision to go, I was wrong. This thing isn't doing what I would expect of it, especially being a penny stock. Because they used to communicate. And they went on video, I think with Buffalo Fireside Chat, saying, we're not going to communicate. And they just keep pushing things back. The communication thing is the biggest one, though. Anyways, that is it for the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will see you in the next one.